you know, just make it work.
Yo,
Hey,
hey, yeah, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what we were talking about there. My brain was somewhere else.
well, I was just talking about how getting old, you just you forget where you put things, and I got everything on this laptop. So,
Man, it's a lot of things. Yeah, well, as you get old, I guess
hmm
you learn not to care about. I used to always like just I had this I guess affinity for making sure anything I came across, I had to gain all the knowledge. And it was to the point of me just constantly stressing myself out, being restless. It was like this perfectionism because I wanted to know. Okay, it wasn't enough to use a computer. I had to know how it worked. It wasn't
right.
enough. It wasn't, I just had to know how everything worked. Now I'm just like, it works. God makes it work. That's how God designed it. I'm good. I don't have to know it.
I think you have a curiosity for the engineering side of it. I think that's why your engineering background comes into play, you think?
A little bit, but man, to be honest, engineering was more to me, engineering was more like in the box, rigid.
Hmm.
Engineering was more so, you learn specifically, how this works and these formulas and then you use them. And for me, uh doing civil engineering, which was basically, roads, buildings, bridge, that kind of stuff was not enough. Like that was very in the box. This is the blueprint. But for me, I always, I'm the create. I'm a creator, I guess, if you will.
Artistic
So
side. Yeah.
exactly, the artistic side wanted to always create something new, wanted to invent something, which,
Right.
in retrospect, probably mechanical engineering would have been a little bit more better suited for me if we're just sticking in the engineering field. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
the difference with the engineering and kind of that side of things. Now, engineering was just know how to do it. You use these formulas, you understand how this works, but it still felt limited to me, restricted, because now the part that I was always interested in was maybe being not the part, but maybe being an urban planner using my engineering background
Yeah.
along with, my creativity, the entrepreneurial side, and
Hmm.
and doing things like that, which is still something I think about and possibly may pursue one of these days. Because you got all kinds of folks, you know, fixing up communities and doing all this kind of stuff. I would love to do some things um for folks that need it, man, and some things that they could really be proud of, get behind in order to reinvigorate a community. So for sure.
Well, it's interesting because I had a conversation the other day with someone that basically wanted to create a community. And when I say community, I mean like a subdivision slash. I mean that's what I think of as community, like multiple houses, but like a sustaining community where it's has its own agriculture, has its own stores, you know,
Mhm.
just all within. So that way the community itself is not completely 100% reliant upon, like your grocery stores and things like that. But it's I don't know, like a smaller community that is actually lives off the farmland and that type of stuff. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, that type of it's like a almost USDA rural ag type thing. And so my bank brain and my mortgage brain started activating, and I started just and the person was like, what did you expect when you came to have a conversation with me? I was like, not this. I wasn't expecting this. I gave it just it was such a off the cuff, candid answer because usually when I'm presenting myself, I'm a lot more, you know. reserved, polished, pulled
Hmm.
back, but I just couldn't because they started asking like pummeling me with all these different questions, and my bank brain activated, my mortgage brain activated, and I started answering questions because it's how I am for the most
Hmm.
part now. Is I just I don't I really don't pull punches, so to speak, when I
Hmm.
speak, and sometimes I
Hmm.
have to get better about pausing, like doing deep pauses before I answer. Well, but it's just not. I think as I'm getting older, I'm not as prone to want to do that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, here's something that I've this expression that I've been meaning to share with you. What two? I said the other one yesterday, but this one had this on my mind. So the type of cash flow that I'd like to have one day is uh it's it's initialed FYCF.
Hmm.
Um you can okay, CF stands for cash flow. The first two you can kind of figure
Oh, I
out.
got you. Yeah. That's right.
That one needs to go unfiltered.
That's right.
That's an unfiltered episode.
N- I don't know. I think that's
I,
pretty. I think that's pretty PG because
well,
everybody's not gonna get it. Most
I'm glad.
most
I'm glad.
kids under
But
under
I just
13.
that's what I want. I want like if I ever had it my way, I realized the type of cash flow that I like. Okay.
Hmm.
Very, very little human capital, very little human involvement, probably less than 1%. Okay. With
Hmm.
the AI, you could do it with setting up trading patterns. You could do certain buys and the dividends and the stocks that generate dividends, things like that, or even just a safe conservative investment into high yield savings. Because think about it, if you can live off 5% in interest or 3% in interest, you know, most people can't when it's just $100, $1,000, million, 100 million. And
Right.
all you gotta
Right.
do is just uh do that, you know?
Oh yeah. That's true, man.
And that's what I'm thinking about is like what type of investments would I have to be able to do that? So, and it's just generating reoccurring revenue streams, very little human interaction, and just go and live my life, have a good time, speak freely, and
Yeah.
that's really what matters to me at the end of the day is being able to do that. So,
I'm 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 with you, man. That's the goal. That's actually a major goal for this life, man, to be able to manifest a life where we can
uh-oh,
use
hold on,
what?
hold on.
You lost the recording?
Give me just a hot second.
Okay.
Yep, something happened.
The cool thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see your your mouth moving. Hold
Can
on.
you hear me? Testing, testing.
Let's see, bro. Yep. Okay. Talk to me real quick.
Yo, I'm here. Good morning.
Um,
Testing, 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 testing,
Yeah, there
testing,
we go.
testing.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
All right. What you think happened?
Oh, it wasn't routing through the headphones.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But the beautiful thing about this is, and technology side of it, was still recording everything the whole time.
Oh,
So
that's true. You just couldn't hear it. Yeah,
I
that's
just couldn't
true.
hear you.
But
So
also the beautiful thing is you just go back and edit that part out.
see, the best thing about it is for the sake of what were we talking genuineness and comedy,
Hmm.
I may just leave it just exactly the way it is. And people
Well,
would
that's
just be like,
true.
these knuckleheads.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's funny, man.
Because at the end of the day, it's all in the beginning phase of everything. So it doesn't bother me, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's fun to be able to kind of think about the aspect of what would you do if you had money that was like you didn't have to worry about who was the source of it, you know?
Yeah, man. I'll tell you one interesting side to that. I know, and I think this might be kind of a man thing, but I know for many years I cared so much about how I made my money. It was like that was me wanting to be in control of what that looked like. So let me give you an example. It was almost like a status thing. This is the job that gives me this much money, and I cared for so long. But I am glad, excuse me, I am glad to say I am at a juncture in my life, but that's not important to me anymore. What matters is, as you said, being able to live a quality life in the way that I desire and in the way that God really has given me the potential to live it. And it's funny, but I actually I'm trying to think should I share it on over the air, but I'll just say this. I know a few weeks ago I hit a threshold where I truly did not care where it came from. Of course, we know when I say that we want it to come from, of course, something legal, me not depending on others so much, that kind of thing, like from a lack of effort standpoint.
Right.
But in terms of, me doing things that I need to do, it did not matter as long as I'm doing what God has called me to do, and it's Him blessing me and my family. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The status. And I think so many times in this society, it's easy to get caught up in, how we make the money. And some people's jobs, I know for me, at times, what I did became my idol in a sense, because that was where I got my value. But that's not, man. That's not where it's at.
Yeah, and that's you have to go back. Well, that's how we know we live in a very, very prosperous society, very comfortable society.
Hmm.
Because if you live in a great society, you don't think about that. If you're not living in that kind of society, you're just thinking about basic needs. You're
Right.
you're doing what
Right.
it takes and to survive, and then also to the you run the risk of losing the moral compass of good and evil, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
uh, when you have just basic daily needs that you need to survive. And but we live in a very self-driven society at times,
Right, right,
and
right,
that's just human nature to be kind of the current version of human nature is to be so self-driven.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. Definitely got to find that balance. Gotta find that balance, man.
Yeah,
Perspective.
and it's
Perspective.
2025. We are on the cusp of a new president, you know.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
right.
a
Couple days.
couple days. It's just interesting how quickly, like I blinked and it's already the 18th of January. And this
Man,
year feel like it's going by a lot
it's
faster.
gone by fast, man. Yes.
And it feels like it's more challenging than last year. I think I
Yeah.
made that comment to you.
Yeah. Definitely has a different
Like
feel.
right out the
Yeah.
gate.
It
Just
does.
bam.
It's a lot going on, man, in the world and with all of us just individually. It is. Yeah, this has got a little oomph on it this year.
Little stink on
Little,
it.
little stink
That's a
on
nice way.
it.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
stink on it. There's no nice way to put it. In fact, I don't know if you noticed that little detail, but the background was you could see it kind of clearly, and then you didn't because I blurred it. Because in my mind, I was thinking, you know what? I should just leave the background as it is. Just it doesn't really matter. But then I looked at it and I'm like, no, I'm blurring the background. I'm using that feature that,
Oh yeah.
because it's just a train wreck right now because Evie got sick two nights ago, I think.
Hmm.
2 nights ago now. So
Yeah.
she threw up and um, they came yesterday to clean the her room, the carpet in her room.
Hmm.
So I literally cleared everything that was in her closet. And her closet is not that big, but there is so much stuff in that closet. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Bro,
blur the background.
yeah, that's the beauty of the blurred background. I can't tell. Man, I always have my background blurred. Man,
You didn't used to, but
I didn't
you
used to. Yeah,
but
it
you
was
did
just
now.
yeah, it's just too much to tidy up before these sessions, man. Saturday mornings, it's usually a mess still, so.
Yeah, man. I was just like, man, it was like an internal debate in my side of my head. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And I was like, you know what? To me, it matters. I'm blurring
Yeah, your
it.
blur background looks really good, man. Zoom has really continued to
Innovate.
streamline the technology. Remember when it used to be you move and your body's all broken up and stuff, and
Yep.
now like they got it down, man.
Yep.
Like it looks good.
Well, it's like I downloaded the app Rocket Money, um, just
Bro,
to
I almost go ahead, but
go ahead.
I thought about downloading that the other day. So tell me about your experience. I'm listening.
Oh, it was today, and I cut it off. I downloaded this. Well, I don't
Oh.
download it yesterday or a couple days ago, and but I like it because simply because. All right, so shameless plug. If I listen to a podcast long enough, and if I'm a fan of a podcast long enough, you're gonna hook me, and you're gonna probably get my money. And if you suggest a product I should use, I'm probably gonna end up using that product, at least trying it. So
Mm.
I can't remember how many different ones I've listened to over the years now, but this one. So one of the podcasts, Are You Garbage? I listened to. They suggest Rocket Money because they have what I love about that is they let you know it's a paid advertisement, so they segue into it and they do their
Yeah.
little riff between each other promoting the product. But um, in it integrates, it uses Plaid to integrate your bank account.
Mhm.
I think it uses Plaid also to integrate your credit cards. So, but it digitally walks you through your goals. Like, do you want to save? Do you want to pay off debt? It asks you about your living situation, all these little things. It walks you through each little step of the way into
Mhm.
where once it pulls it all in, it does break down a budget. But what I like about it, because this is something they kept promoting, it will take a look at your subscriptions and say, hey, do
Mhm.
you want to cancel this subscription? Do you want to negotiate this bill? But the one thing that I mean, obviously you can have it for free, but then you have to pay the $10 or whatever, how much in bucks per month to have them kind of use all these extra features on top of it. So
Mhm.
I just use it as a quick snapshot to make sure that I was tracking everything I was doing on my own appropriately. But they will take the extra step to kind of unwind stuff and remove stuff and help your budget and all that, those types of things.
Mhm.
But I like it because of the technology behind it.
Right.
Because my mind was actually looking at like, wow, the technology now, like Zoom, to get to the place where it knows how to like help you link all this together and actually tabulate all this together so that you're not having to try to do it yourself. And it even seems like they've integrated AI into it in some way, shape, or form. So I mean it's worth checking out.
I will, man. But before I make one comment, man, adjust your camera. It just readjusted on you and got you blurred out. It's got you part of the background. And it's a little freaky.
About now.
That's
Could be the
better.
internet connection. It's rainy.
Oh, that might be what it is. Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was scary, man. That was
Well,
scary.
I'm a blurry guy.
Yeah, you really were then. Yeah, you are. Kind of ghostly over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I wanted to download it also to look at the breakdown, the subscription breakdown down because I keep
It's
a
pretty cheap.
yeah, I'm gonna do it
Three, 7, and 10, I think, is the subscription per month.
because I use a spreadsheet and what I do is it's pretty
In
meticulous
depth.
or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have to look at my spreadsheet, then I go to
Mhm.
my bank account. I do this, every few days, right? So I'm
Right.
looking to make sure and so I can update my spreadsheet if in fact maybe I signed up for something. Usually when I sign up for something, I add it immediately to my spreadsheet, but maybe in the hustle and bustle I missed it. So
Right.
I'm just
That's
checking all
right.
these things and then
And that's
seeing
exactly what I used it for.
yeah, and seeing if anything changed, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And it would be nice to have something like that as a supplemental tool, man, to kind
Yeah.
of quick reference.
And that's what all
Uh,
I did.
you
I just
know,
quick referenced it and just
yeah.
said, hey, all these look familiar. I mean, it was so quick how I could just look at it and know it's like, yep, 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 yep. Because because it's coming out of my checking account or it's tied to just one card, and that's
Mhm.
it. So I didn't have to really think about it. But then it also was able to integrate and say, hey, we see these transactions between this. Did you want to link this also?
That's cool. Like you said, that
It's
technology,
intuitive,
man. Yeah, exactly.
intuitive.
Intuitive.
Yeah.
Intuitive. Yeah. So so they've taken, Mint. I think you used
Yes.
to use, yeah, I used to use Mint. I haven't used it in a while, but I don't even think Mint's doing that.
I
Mint,
don't need, does Mint still exist?
I want to say it does. I
Because
think
Rocket Money
they're,
used to be something else before they rebranded to become Rocket Money.
I want to say Mint um, probably focuses more on, I want to say net worth and investing now. That's what I
I got
feel.
you.
I feel like they've gravitated that way to try to stay relevant. But oh, you're right. I tried to re-download it. It says unable to install Mint because I still had it. The app is no longer available in the App Store. I Google it.
Well,
I'll
these
see what
the
happened.
companies I mean, think about the resources that it takes to run a company.
Yeah.
Eventually, payroll is always the biggest expense. So, plus the insurance for the employees, eventually, unless you can keep churning out money, you eventually sell. It's a difference between capital gains and cash flow. To two business partners. One has a different mentality than the other. One wants to build the company up to sell it off for, X amount of dollars and, retire or start something new. The other just is happy, wants to keep the company alive, wants to keep creating
Right.
jobs, wants to eventually phase out to become like a minority owner of the company, maybe get a paycheck, sell off
Right.
the ownership. One's with long-term cash flow, the other one's more like let's slaughter the cow and cut up its parts. One
Right.
wants to use the cow for milk, exclusively, and the other just wants to, just kill
Make
the
what it
whole
can.
cow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Forget about the
You-
cow. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. But
Get
see,
what we
again,
can.
yeah, but cash flow is the lifeblood of every business. It's the lifeblood for people too.
Yeah,
Because if you
exactly.
don't have it, I mean, where's your money going to come from if it doesn't come from working a job? Well, it's going to probably come from a government or begging on the streets. You need some form of income stream in order to sustain life.
Right.
Um, and so we all know that our cash flow comes from something much higher and more powerful than us. And to know that your identity is not tied to that a source here, but a source up there. That's important to understand that and seek that and
That's right. Yes.
and to help your family understand that too. Because it's scary at times. Jill's pretty stressed out with work and I told her, look, if it ever gets to a place where you can't, then don't. You're not tied to any one place, you know?
Right.
And
Speaking of that, man, my one of the things that I've really appreciated over the last few weeks is um kind of being in a situation where I see uh my support system, my parents and things, man, they've been able to they're in a position, thankfully, financially, where
they
they
can.
can help. They can do whatever is necessary. And that like motivates me to want to be in that same position
Absolutely.
for my kids, man. I
Absolutely.
gotta be in a place where if ever they really need me, it's like it's nothing to me. It's like
That's right.
whatever you need.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
motivation, man, for sure.
And I'll be very candid with you. I'm always very candid with you. Sometimes too candid. That's why we got to go unfiltered if I get too candid. And I had to catch myself when I'm like, okay, this one's got to go unfiltered. Just that's it's just amazing how they've kind of, you know, certain shows they'll go ahead and they'll they know it and they've got to get editing team. They got okay before they put it on there. They'll bleep it out and they'll side reference it. Go here because you know certain platforms will demonetize. So, but they'll go to say they'll reference the platform that doesn't demonetize. So that way it leads the traffic to go see that particular episode, but also at the same time it generates traffic towards that channel. Ultimately,
Right.
but what I've come to the conclusion, I do not want to build a business and then sell it off or build a business and, you know, one day retire from it. I don't want to um have multiple investments in real estate and all that stuff. What I would like to do is to hit a really big jackpot and put
Yeah.
it into a very safe investment vehicle and live off the interest.
Your
That's it.
book, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And I
That's
don't
it.
care what anybody says. It's like, well, how'd you make your money? I won the lottery. You are so lucky. It's like, you are so right.
The fact that you said that, man, is just more justifies the book that you're writing. What's the name of the book again?
Uh, um, it's done. I got to re-edit it. It's already out on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that's right. What's it
Uh,
called?
why'd you have to ask me? I don't even know what it's called. I
Oh
don't even know what
man,
it's called.
the worst. That's the
That was the worst plug ever for
it
it.
was.
I'm the only one that you like. Uh, how you will win the lottery or how I will win the lottery? I don't know.
Um,
It's out there.
what's sad? You would think somebody that did it with AI would be like that, but you actually wrote it. You actually wrote
I,
this.
I, I did write it.
What-
It's very, yeah, it's very just, it's not even, if you want to buy it, that'd be great. If not, yeah, that's fine too. And then I have to dig through Amazon to try to find it. So
But
it's not
yeah,
even not even worth promoting.
It is because of your statement, man. Like
Well,
anybody that believes in something, at least it's worth putting out there. You know, people can take it or leave it, but if you believe in something that strongly and you put your energy behind it, then
I put time behind it.
you put time behind it.
It's how I will win the lottery.
There we go. There we go.
And it breaks out it's a very simple, like what I'm going to do to win the lottery. And I do it consistently.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. Gotta have a plan. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
I have a budget, so I budget for
There
that
you
money.
go. There it
So
is.
say now you're trying to see
There it is.
what you're doing is I understand what you're doing. You're wanting me to stay in the process.
Oh
You
man,
want me to
you
stay in the process and be consistent and stay in the
wow,
process. You know, I like to weave. You know, if I'm in the
bro,
driving in traffic, I'm on a three-lane highway. I like to go into the left lane. I like to go in the right lane. I like to go slow all the way down. I like to speed all the way up.
bro. Anybody listening to this, any new folks, the last 2 minutes are like, what are they talking about? Because we like speaking in code.
No,
Like
we're speaking exactly to how we speak.
that's true. That's right.
We
That's
are
right. That's right.
always riffing.
That's right.
Always.
That's
It's
right.
always comedy. It's
Oh
always
man,
comedy.
that's funny though.
Life is a comedy.
Life is. It better
Life
be.
is a comedy, and I just want to keep laughing all night long.
If you want a good life, it better be. And life is too
But
short not to laugh.
you know, I don't like the expression God will never give you more than you can handle. I had the idea the other day, which is probably not my idea. God will never give you more than he can handle.
Mm,
So, I mean, just keep leaning on him. And I got a feeling that this year is going to be a little bit rougher for people than they realize. Um, just out the gate, I've heard too many stories, seen too many situations. It's gonna be a tough year for people, and you know we need to hang in there. We need to hang in there. We need to know who we can trust, know who we can rely on here, and at the same time trust that there's something greater than us too.
sure, bro. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. Got to be, man.
I mean, you know, right out the gate. It's rough.
Yeah, like LA. I've been meaning to tune in the last couple days. I haven't gotten any updates, but just right out, man. It's like, hey. Reality check everybody. Reality
Yep,
check everybody. If this is happening in LA, yes, we
yep,
need to, we gotta aid our brothers and sisters as much as we can through have whatever means, prayer, finances. But if that's
yep,
happening there, everybody be on the watch.
yep.
Everybody needs to be vigilant.
And also
Um,
too, we got drones all over the place. We've got
yeah.
the thing in New Orleans, thing in Las Vegas. I mean, it's just right out the gate. I mean, you just gotta, you
Wait,
know,
I got New Orleans. What happened in Vegas? Remind me.
Cybertruck
Oh,
explosion.
that's
Yeah.
right. On New Year, was it New Year's?
I think they both happened on New Year's Day.
Year's, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if that's a sign of how the year's gonna go with the stuff that happened on New Year's Day, it's just like, okay, well.
Oh boy, get ready, boy.
No,
It's
it's
like
just
it's
that's why I have to
20.
listen to comedy, man. I have to listen to
Yeah,
stuff that makes me laugh.
yeah. 2024 was like I'll say, yeah, 2024 was like the downfall of a lot of I guess a lot of notable
People died.
leaders.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people died too. Yeah, a lot of notable like famous people passed, but then a lot of leaders, church leaders. I don't know about anybody
Oh,
else, but
yeah.
yeah, that was that
Didn't that
year.
happen? That did happen last year, didn't it?
Yeah, a lot of them, a whole lot of them just start going down. Stuff start coming
Yeah,
out. So,
lot of stuff started
uh,
coming out.
and the fact that and it wasn't just one part of the American church. It was like everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was like
Yeah.
it
It's
wasn't
kind of
like
like gosh, the Me Too movement, if you think
mm,
about it. You because when that happened, a lot of stuff started coming out, you know?
yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of people started going down.
yeah, yeah.
Huh.
So that and now this year opening up the way it did. Cause it's interesting. Um Kobe Bryant, when he passed, do you remember what year that was?
That was 2020.
Exactly. And then that was COVID year, right? And
I,
Kobe happened in January, right at the beginning,
yep, right at the beginning.
and then
Right
boom.
at the beginning. I tell you that I this is just my stupid opinion.
Mhm.
When we lost Kobe, that started the end of everything. But I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan
Yeah, yeah,
as a
man.
basketball player, you
Yeah.
know.
So
So
that was kind of indicative. I mean, look at the year that followed. So yeah, it's
yeah,
usually these patterns, man. You see some patterns.
weird,
Yeah.
weird, we could get really, really weird with it and go down conspiracy rabbit holes of
Oh
all
yeah.
these weird things, you know.
But
Are you familiar with Christian apologists?
yeah, I watch them
Okay.
sometimes. Mhm.
That guy by the name of Wes Huff, he's very articulate.
Is he kind of the older fella, like
Younger,
probably 60,
early
younger
30s.
guy,
Yeah.
early 30s?
Younger
Let me
guys
see.
from Canada.
Let me see. I may have seen him. Let's see. Where's Huff? All right, I got his name. No, I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, give him a look up, you know.
Okay.
Because I'm very still I'm always going to be very new in the faith. There's certain phrases and terminology gets kind of get thrown around that I've never heard before, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I had to look that up and Google it and get a
But
better understanding of it.
but I will say this. I don't watch enough of it to have a real opinion, but I will say, for as much as I appreciate the ministry that a lot of apologists do, because I also considered uh Robbie Zacharias. I think he
Yep,
passed.
I've heard
He
him.
was he was an apologist. I loved Robbie Zacharias, how he did things.
So what is an apologist? Are they apologizing and saying I'm sorry for something? What is that?
You
Like when
know,
I hear apologize, I hear like I'm sorry.
they really, I know that's what I think of, but when you watch them, they stand up for the faith against other views. They basically are like debaters.
Okay.
Uh
Like a
yeah,
Ben Shapiro
like
kind of.
exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but the one thing I would say that like I said, I don't watch enough to have a real opinion, but I'll say I don't like necessarily is every time I look around, on YouTube and stuff, somebody's exposing somebody,
Right.
oh, this preacher's exposed this and that. I don't like how that feels, you know what I mean? Because it's like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it's
It
one thing for us to stand up for the faith. It's another thing when we're constantly,
attacking.
beating each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And
So,
that's again, it's that goes back to human nature. It's something that is I mean, there what a better explanation to human nature than the existence of sin, you know,
hmm
this beast that is a consequence of humanity that is carried down through the genetics, that the argument that at one point in time that humanity was not that way, that it was actually pure.
hmm
And again, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense that there we have an enemy that hates us so much, and then the explanation why why would we have something that hates us that much? Because we were made in an image and elevated to a position greater than him, so of course he would consider us an enemy, you know.
hmm
It's just interesting that we as humans don't think a little bit deeper to
yeah,
say, well, maybe there is something to this whole spiritual
Right.
realm side of it,
Right.
because sometimes when people talk about spiritual things, especially when it's related to the Lord, I don't know if you have the same experience I do physically, but my experience is I get goosebumps.
Hmm.
It resonates with me. There's a physical reaction to it.
Right.
Do you have that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
your response, I knew your response was going to be yes, like very like I completely agree.
Yeah.
But what is that? How does like you know what I'm saying? There's something more to just this physical space, and there has to be because there's just we cannot explain it. And again, I always have to remind myself, Derek, as I'm talking to you, I am viewing my world through a first person perspective.
Mhm.
Do you ever do you ever kind of think about how crazy that is? Because we're so used to looking at things on a third person screen,
Mm.
and it's really amazing if you think about it. So right now, our kids, they are looking at everything through a first person perspective. They're not seeing their face. They're seeing
Right.
projections of it. One of the greatest inventions that humanity ever made was a mirror. You know what I'm saying? Because you see yourself and other people, they see you and they create pictures of you. And they, back then, before cameras and everything, you didn't really have an idea. Some people would make these pictures of you, but the mirror to be able to actually see, because all like I'm looking down at my hands and all I can see is my hands. I can't see my face, my physical
Right.
face. So this world is a very first person perspective.
And I got it
It's
is.
it's 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 really amazing what humanity has done completely from a first person perspective.
Um I'm gonna flip 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 something just
Oh
for
God.
sake of argument. No, like the
Oh.
mirror,
Mm,
okay. Yes, one of the greatest we can say it's up there in terms of great inventions, but now I'll say this. I actually at one point had started I had this idea for a book and it was called A World Without Mirrors. But here
mm.
was the premise of it. The premise of it was when people see themselves in the mirror, they project opinions based on
What other
how
people have
they
said.
either what they see, right. So what they see and they base it off of, yes, they take the data from what society has said. Okay, how what has society said about my look? I see my look, and they project that, they internalize it, and then project that on everything else. So even though they're going from a first person's perspective, they're really always operating in a third person perspective in the sense that um they're seeing themselves constantly because this is hypothetical, of course, because it's not all about the physical. But my idea was that's where a lot of the pride comes from, and everything is
Mhm.
how people tend to see themselves. And the mirror was kind of hypothetical because it's not necessarily a physical mirror, but it's all about how people project themselves
Mhm.
based on what they take in. But it's not just what they see, it's also the heart,
To
everything else.
receive,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was a world without mirrors. I'm sure this has been so removed. I probably need to go back, and if I looked at it, I could give a more concise, adequate
think you
depiction of
need
what
to
it was about.
I think you need to put that one out too, The World Without Mirrors.
Maybe so, man. I had to go search. Got to go to
Hmm.
the archives for that one, man.
Yeah. I still got to put the friggin' had so many little thoughts and ideas that I keep stop forgetting to put it into the book. So, the one that's going to be released posthumously after
Hmm.
death, AD,
Yeah.
whatever, after I die. Yeah, that one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man, the way technology is going, you won't even have to have somebody to publish it for you, man. AI, like you'll be able to set it up where
Oh, wow, that'd
after
be
you're
cool.
gone, it'll just publish.
Do it for you. Yeah,
Yeah, that's where
that'd
we're
be
going,
cool.
man.
I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah, because
yeah,
I'll be gone. I won't care what people say about me.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Oh, great. Now I just thought about another layer deeper. Like how
Uh,
will it affect the kids if it gets published?
well, you know, you
Well,
you
they
thought
can
about
always just
that.
say daddy was crazy. That's all. That's it. They'll just say I'm crazy. Grandpa was crazy. That's all right. That's okay. Yeah, no, we'll be fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. Because again, my goal for the FYCF.
Yeah,
See, so that way they're
that's right.
not dependent upon anybody, what anybody says or does or anything like that. It's like we're fine. We can do what we want to do. We can go
Hmm.
out and build some new things in this world. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal, is to be able to carry it to the generations, your kids' kids. And if it's that much and sustainable, then it doesn't matter what anybody says or does. You know.
Right. I think the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance. That's right.
Yes,
Good
inheritance.
inheritance.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's amazing that that's why I'm always I Jill and I got a little bit of argument because I'm when this one particular credit card paid off because I've lived in a life of being in debt and how it affects the income, and I don't want to go back to that anymore.
Right.
You get a taste of something else, so you don't want it, you just don't want it anymore, and it's
Right.
just if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it my way, and I blog about it all the time in Debt Free Me, um, just tracking the journey of getting closer to paying off the mortgage. But just saying, you've got to understand there's always, again, I always just had the idea of no debt at all, self-lending, Dave Ramsey's way. But over time, I've allowed humanity, I mean, people are just going to need debt. They're going to need a credit score when
Hmm.
they want a mortgage. Yes, they do mortgages without credit scores, but you have the higher interest rate. If you have the discipline to have like a secured credit card or some type of secured debt, and you have the discipline to pay it off and use your utilization usage of around 30%, then you can manage your debt properly. So if I look at it, if you're going to have debt, your leverage should be okay, 80%. 80% loan to value is too high for me. 20 to 40% is where I'm comfortable if people are going to have debt. Because if you get you 20 to 40%, you should be able to kind of knock it out and pay it off. But I always worry about lifestyle changes for people, life events that just kind of destroys income possibilities for people. Because sometimes people don't have other people to kind of step in and help them,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
that's the avenue of if you're gonna have debt, 20%, 40% loan to value. Be willing to put 80% down, 60% down. If you can't do it, then you're putting yourself into a situation where, if your debt to income is too high, then you will be more at risk for default. And
Right.
I've thrown
Right.
out a lot of financial terminology this go around than normal. But I think it's because I just desperately want to win the lottery. FYCF for the people.
Hey, man. I think it's noble, man. I think you winning the lottery, I think that would be you have you're the person you're the type of person we need to win the lottery, man. You got the
Not
humility,
necessarily.
humility and the plan.
Well, I will
Humility
say
and the
this. I'm
plan.
so crazy that I've got this little journal called Crazy Ideas. You can pick it up at your local Target, Walmart, Office Depot, wherever they've got it. So
Hey
what I
man,
will
they're not
do,
paying you. They're not paying you for it though. Go ahead.
nobody's paying me nothing for anything, so it's okay. So what I like to do is I like to put a date down and write it out what I'm gonna do when I win the lottery consistently. Yep, I have my
Wow.
plan in place, and as time's going on, it's kind of elaborated a little bit. Tithe, pay off debt, gift amount of money, live off of X amount of salary and interest income earned, save, steward the rest, invest the rest.
Bro, you're convincing me that you're gonna win the lottery. So
I've been believing this for a long time.
I need to figure out what we need to figure out is what we can yeah I need to figure out how I'm gonna get a little small piece of that, just something to help me, because you're gonna win the lottery, so you'd be praying about that.
I've been praying for that for a long.
What is God telling me to give Derek? Because I know
Yeah.
when I win the
I know
lottery.
he's been working on this for a long time. I know he's gonna I even have my dedicated catchphrase for when I do win the lottery.
I want to hear this. What is it?
No, that's an unfiltered.
That's unfair. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Well,
Speaking,
we've got to do something because I really do want to hear your thoughts on from your most recent, like what you think of like the best way for education, those types of things. I do want to
mm,
do one about that because
yeah,
I haven't forgotten about it.
yeah, definitely coming episode there. But the lottery thing is kind of a good segue. I want to talk about real quick
Oh boy.
what I've been doing lately, uh, with the business, man.
Yes.
So I guess you're hearing it first. We're officially launching Refresh Coaching. So of
Oh,
course we got yeah, of course we got Refresh Refocus Rebuild the framework, but we're launching the coaching service this week, man. You actually
okay.
I'm gonna roll it out on Monday, and officially got official opening hours, man. 8 to
Okay.
4, Monday
Eight
through
to four.
Thursday.
Cool.
8 to 12 on Friday. Saturdays we're open for different events. But I've actually been going around to the universities. I've gone to
Yeah.
Alabama State, South, Trenton, Troy, and Huntington. Matter of fact, I think I hit all six, and I've
Good
already got
job.
a call back from one setting
Cool.
up. Yeah, and we've set up a workshop, time management. And so the coaching,
Which university is that with? Or can you
uh,
say?
s-
Can
yeah,
you
I
can't
guess it's nothing wrong with saying it. But that's
because
why I didn't
well, it's
say
already
it. I don't
scheduled,
know.
right? It's already scheduled, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't have to say. You don't have to say. Don't worry. I was just kind of curious because
I'll
it
tell you.
it makes my brain go into like, huh? I wonder if he knows this person. I need to connect
Yeah.
him with that person. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. I definitely tell you off record. Definitely.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, man. And so the services that we're gonna be doing is, of course, one-on-one coaching, and this is
Hmm.
just results coaching style. We take individuals through the framework, but also identify deficiencies where we can help them shore up those things in the areas of time management, productivity, and goal setting. So that's the one-on-one. But those coaching sessions can be one-on-one, it can be couples, it can be
Hmm.
small groups.
Hmm.
And then besides that, we have our trainings, like we're going to be doing at the universities. We're doing it for students, but we're also looking to do it for faculty at the universities, which some
Hmm.
have expressed
An
interest in
interest.
something like that. And as I mentioned to you in the past, I wanted to do certain like small offices. So we're going to be hitting up insurance companies, hitting up
Uh-huh.
loan company, because I've even talked to some folks way in the past that
Hmm.
work at those the personal loan companies, and they've said, yeah, we need help, time management, this and that. So uh that's the next area, the next segment that I'm gonna be
Hmm.
going to,
Hmm.
man. But Yeah, man, just running with it, man,
So
with
if you
fresh
had
coaching.
to narrow down the Refresh Academy, like your most core fundamental product offering, you could only sell me one. What would it be?
It would be the planner, man, because the planner is our encompasses our time management piece. So it is
Okay,
we
so
have
time
three
management.
time man we have three distinct areas of focus, and time management is the one that the planner actually walks individuals through. We walk them through a proprietary our process, if you will, principles that are used, but our process. And by the time you go through that, uh, basically, what we tell people is if you do this at the beginning of every month, say you invest an hour in it at the beginning of the month, you'll get 20 hours back. And that's what we tell
Oh,
individuals.
wow.
That's yes, that is the
That's
effect.
that's catchy.
That's the effect, man. And I can pretty much guarantee it, man. Uh,
That's awesome.
that's what it does. And so the productivity side, the reason I say, of course, that's the main thing, but the productivity side, that one is more so in pieces. I have to coach with that one because this
Yeah,
is so robust. It'll be
yeah,
a matter of somebody practicing the time management stuff and
yeah,
then us working on the productivity
yes,
through that. So yeah.
yes, yes. So would you say from your point of view that time management has gotten worse or better over, like, let's rewind time 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Would you say that people's time management over the years has gotten worse or better?
I think it's gotten worse, man, for a couple reasons. Um, I'm gonna use an example. A lot of individuals, especially younger, but I can't say just younger, but a lot of individuals, of course, post COVID, have
Mm,
started, work from home and things. And while that seems like a benefit to have that freedom, a lot of people don't have the skills to really delineate how they use their time. So what's happening is they're even unhealthier, more unbalanced than they were when they worked in the office and had to be there 8, 9 hours of the day before they went about the rest of the day. Because now
yeah,
everything's kind of blurred together and they don't
yeah,
have the skill set right now to do what they, to operate like that. So that's one reason. And then the other reason is just we've got such a the stimulation. There's more stimulation now
yep,
of ideas and things
yep.
from social media, YouTube, that just
So
kind of
much
makes it
content
hard. So
and
much
access
content,
to it.
man, and you get drawn
Easy
into
access.
it.
Yeah.
And so when you already don't haven't developed certain skills to
Turn it off
manage your
and
time exactly,
decipher it,
that that
discern what's valuable,
that
what's
just
not valuable.
that compounds it. I mean, yeah, and you've gotta have certain principles or practices already kind of in place, mechanisms, if you will, so that you can regulate that because the social media to a degree can be good if it's like this, and I think we've talked about it before, but this is kind of one idea that we talk about with the productivity piece. Well, if I say I'm at home and I spend 2 hours just on social media, I'm just drawn into it. And that 2 hours can be one or two things. That 2 hours can actually be constructive or it can be wasted time, which I'll say destructive. And the thing that makes the difference is one thing that makes a difference. It's intention. So if I have planned out my time and I have said this 2 hours, because I like social media and I've not been doing social media, and usually wouldn't be two, let's use 1 hour. That's excessive to me. But let's say it's 1 hour and I say I'm spending this when I plan out my day or my week, whatever, I say at this time I'm gonna spend 1 hour on social media because that's my outlet, that's my rest time, my leisure. That's what I'm gonna do. then all of a sudden that's very beneficial to you. It's constructive. It's helping your overall balance. But if you haven't planned anything for that time and you're just drawn into that and you look up and you've spent an hour, you've wasted that time because most likely if the next day I asked you to recall how you went about your day, you probably wouldn't even be able to recall what you did with that time. We call that
No.
wasted time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's
it's
not attributed
definitely a
to
deficit.
an outcome. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Huh.
that's what's happening with a lot of people in the habits, man. So we deal with things like that, man. We help people build in intermittent rest. So person that has a rigid schedule, that's great, but we're gonna help through different psychology. We're gonna help individuals build in intermittent rest, so that they still maintain that balance and can be
How has
consistent.
that been, what's your feedback been so far on that? It's been positive feedback?
Oh yeah, man. So about a year and a half ago now, we did what we called that was our first results coaching cycle, and we just trained a group of individuals and had great feedback. But we've not embarked on what we're about to start embarking on this week when we actually coach individuals one-on-one. That was like a training where I just came on. I either did a live or I posted a video,
Right.
and there was very little discourse between me and those individuals. But the coaching, this is where it's gonna be the dialogue and the feedback and the progress checks, either bi-monthly or twice a month, that kind of thing, man.
And the reason why I asked if you had to narrow it down to one product offering, I
Yeah,
think if you have just one for the Refresh Academy, you can build it's like the base of a tree,
yeah,
finding the branches and all that. Because really, if you have, I would say no more than three, but if you
yeah.
have too many, then it kind of it
Murky's,
get
yeah,
dilutes it a little bit. But I feel like, and that's the reason why I took you down that trail for a second, is to see how detailed and layered. I feel like at the heart of what you've been working on, really, if I had to boil it all down, I think time management is the key core fundamental
yeah,
because everything that you kind of talk about, staying in the process. Well, why are you staying in the process? You're staying in the process because you're having issues with time management.
hmm,
You see,
yeah,
a lot of the things that
yeah,
society is really having issues with, if we really look at the core, it's not really, so to speak, ADHD driven, attention driven. Yeah, it is. But if you have good core discipline with time management, you can be distracted all you want because you've narrowed your focus down to I've allocated an
yes,
hour towards this discipline, this task or whatever. And I think ultimately what the remedy in the cycle and the process that you take people through this therapy like session is it's unique because yes, it's a product that people can do, but where it's unique is how you present it and how you help take people through the journey. And if they come back with feedback, whether positive or negative, that will nonetheless be feedback. And I,
right,
I feel like anything, what people have to understand is refresh is a great word because, like I said at the beginning, 2025 is going to be a very challenging year for people, I think.
yeah,
Um, I could be wrong. I
yeah,
could be absolutely, totally wrong. But people are going to be exhausted. They're
right,
going to need refreshment and they're going
right,
to need the ability to manage their time to build in that space for being refreshed.
right.
And
Wow.
Refresh Academy is a you come up with such catchy stuff for these like little this lexicon of
Yeah,
words, just like my financial guide and I'm not a salesperson. I'm a merchant. That's what I am. That's all I am.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy sitting in a stall trying to sell you a widget, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's that's these are the things that, again, as human beings, I do not see animals doing this type of stuff. I don't
No.
see it.
God made us to create, to have,
Yeah. And in the way that we
dominion.
create.
Yeah.
You don't see animals doing this. I
No.
do not see a dog sitting there talking with another dog. Even if the
No.
dog is just sitting there barking. They don't it's all instinctual. It's very, you know, but and if they are learning, they're learning from us.
Right.
You notice that?
Exactly. You're right. Everything they do, for the most part, besides their natural tendencies, like you said, they get it from us. They get it from, yeah, they take on that's why they say dogs take on the personality of their owners.
Yeah. It's true. But
Yeah.
and and humanity is the only species that I've seen, because I haven't interacted with another species that's like us, where we'll actually test what I just said, that statement, to say, well, let's controlled environment, just these animals, observe, see if they really do develop their own personalities and things like that. See, only human yeah, so far that I've seen, only humanity is willing to challenge our own ideas when we say something. You know, that's
Right.
why it's this life's so weird to me. It's so amazing, so weird, and I'm so glad to be born now versus like in 1600s or 1500s or 1 AD, you know? We can sit
Yeah,
here and
man.
have this conversation that's going to be recorded for posterity,
Yeah.
for future generations. Yeah, be
Yeah.
completely wild and crazy, or just silly and goofy, or just really serious. And someday somebody's going to pick this up and be like, "What in the world are they talking about?" Just
Right, right,
conversations
right,
in
right,
different
right.
frames. That's all we do. We just talk about stuff. That's all we do.
Um, and just kind of bringing back to something we talked about earlier, talking about just the how obvious the existence of God is to us, man. I just oftentimes I think about just the fact that we're conscious. We're like everything that we had. The fact that this is what I think about. And I was telling Ashley this other day. This is what I think about how none of this would have existed, of course, if God had never existed in the beginning, and if He had
Yeah.
never existed. This is the thing that's deep to me. Nothing would not have even been nothing would have existed. There would have been no dark, nothing would have ever existed, and we can't even fathom nothingness. So it's like, wow, thank God that He was God and saw fit to create. Oh, it's mind blowing, man.
Well,
Saw fit.
I heard this argument, people that do want to deny the existence of God, they scoff at the idea of an immaculate conception, virgin birth.
Just,
Okay, they scoff at
whew,
that, but they don't scoff at the idea of a immaculate birth of the universe. You know, think
bro.
about it. There had to have been an intelligent design at some point, right? Of all For all this to exist.
Exactly, bro. It's just man. It's a way, bro.
And so,
It's over.
atheists are they're very much in love with the idea of their. It's very generalization. So if you're mad at me, it's okay. I it's just comedy at the end. Let's just laugh. Just don't take yourself so seriously. But it's you you exalt your own intelligence over the very real possibility that your intelligence is flawed and it can be broken.
Right. And exactly. Exactly. And I'm gonna say this, man. Um, if you love life, if there's a joy, which we have definitely because of the spirit of God living in us, if we love life, it's it's like you can see it's like you for one, we appreciate just being conscious beings. Being conscious beings is enough for us to know that there's a God because we see just the beauty in being a conscious being. It's not like we're blobs that and it's so like we're conscious, intricately made beings. And I think a lot of times individuals, this is not all cases, but a lot of individuals are unhappy, not fulfilled. They do a lot of stuff that would
Right.
portray that they're fulfilled, but they're not. And that contributes to some of their views because and if you notice, unfortunately, a lot of those that society would have called great intellectuals in the past have committed suicide and things like that. And they've been so drawn into their intellect that they have been deceived and overwhelmed in their mind to the point of not uh feeling like it would be better, to be dead, feeling that discouraged, that in despair,
It's
that
it's
and
exhausting.
yeah, and if you look at it, there's a parallel. Like it's just like that level of despair and exhaustion, but I don't believe in God, you know, well, what is there to fall back on for one? But it's like that level of that versus, okay, I'm an intellect, but I enjoy life because I'm not consumed by my intellect. This is not all. I'm not just in my thoughts. I trust in a higher power. I'm able to trust that higher power, like have faith in that higher power, which gives me what I need to go on, and that higher power helps me.
It's purpose.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There we go.
And
Exactly.
uh, that's why we have hope. And English is my primary first language, which is again another marvel of human society that we're having this discussion in English because it's the only language I've ever known. But there are other people whose native language is French, Chinese, Thai, whatever. And even with all these different primary languages, we're all communicating thoughts and ideas that are hitting these very abstract spiritual type concepts. The reason why we still keep existing is because ultimately we have to be here for a reason. There's got to be a purpose behind it. We have to have hope that there's something more than just this, and that's what we're all striving for, is to better understand the nature of our own existence. Because the ways we keep records in history are only really now within these last couple generations been really like to the most accurate as can be. Because if you look at the history books and history events can be altered
Hmm.
just to be shaped by the conquerors.
Right, right.
Actual events of like the Great Flood. Oral history has been passed down for generations. Oral histories of things beyond our understanding. But only now can we actually truly record them. Like the whole drone stuff, we can actually record what's actually happening, what we're seeing with our visual eye, and other people can see it real
Hmm.
time. And so we live in a generation that is, people would say, it's been foretold that it's
Right.
all heading towards this thing that's been talked about for a long time. And so that's why it's so interesting. People have this theory that we're all living in a simulation. you know it's all just a big simulation, and that's it could or could not be true, who knows. But it's just amazing that you know my very first conscious memory that I ever had was 5 years old, waking up in my bedroom, 3131 Dobbs Drive, seeing the wallpaper in that room. Very first memory prior to that memory was a dream of a car backing down a hill. It was across the street. It's the very first conscious memory that I ever have, and I can still recall it to this day. So I'm fascinated to hear what Evie's first memory is going to be when she gets older. Jill
Hmm.
can tell me her first memory. But the amazing thing about life is we watch like our kids from birth up to the very first conscious memory that they can recall. But see, there's events that happen prior to that. So if you take that, scale it up to a macro level, a universal macro level, see, there's events that happen prior to what humanity has actually recorded.
Hmm.
And it'd be interesting to see what happens after this life if there is some type of like, and you just perceive it all.
Right,
It's
right.
so like this like when I think about like life beyond this life, it's it's mind blowing.
Yeah. It's mind blowing because our brains, as long as we're here in this temporal world, are finite. And
Yes,
that's why it's so overwhelming, like to even think about other things. Like again, and I can,
which is why I get so frustrated with the great distraction of having to have money,
yeah,
of having to, there's so much that goes on in this world. Like, because we have technology now, we know that there's other people going through this, that, and whatever, you know? But
yeah,
we don't, because we're so busy trying to take care of our basic needs to some extent, we kind of get distracted by and forget, like, no, there's real things going on around us all the time.
like stuff exactly. That's a good point, man.
Life is very distracting at
Good
times.
point.
It's very rewarding, very fulfilling, but it can be very distracting at times. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm already going to be 45 years old, and I look backwards and I'm like, God, I feel like I've wasted so much opportunity. And then, comparison is the thief of joy. So I look at somebody else's life and I'm like, man, you got to see the world, you got to travel this, you live a scale of life I've never even imagined living. Never even imagined living, but you've lived it, you've experienced it. And
yeah,
it's so it's so frustrating at times, because I see people get bogged down by things that really don't matter that much.
right.
It goes back to your point of money and the income side of it. You've realized it's like, hey, I don't care what type of job I have, just as long as it's bringing in the income.
Exactly. Yeah, and however
I mean, it's
God sees
FYCF
the
for the
kid.
people.
That's it, man. That's it for the people. That's real. I like for the people part because that's what it's for. Because at the end of the day,
For
that's what we
humanity.
exactly, man. We want to be available to be a vessel to help people. Period. So yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Wait, don't tell me. Wait, don't tell me. FYCF, yeah, for the people. Got
For the
it.
people, for
That's
humanity.
that's a t-shirt, man. And
Yeah,
nobody needs to know but us and whoever grows in the group what that means.
yeah, yeah. I can see it now. Episode
Because I'm,
Unfiltered,
cause I'm,
FYCF.
yes, because I'm telling you right now, if once people know, that is not something we can wear to church.
Yeah, they get it just throw it, throw. I was like, yeah. I was like, what? Who? Where'd you find it? You can't. Who taught you? You can't say that. You son, James. Why? I told you you can't.
Oh man, good
I'm
stuff,
all for
man.
that. That would be so good.
Yeah,
That, yeah,
yeah,
just that's seriously, that's how you need to. That's from a, if I could give anybody any type of monetary advice, that's the type of cash flow that you want to seek.
yeah, for
Very little
sure.
human involvement, very little physical work.
Very
Trying to
little
think of the
maintenance.
component, very little maintenance. Yep. Trying to think of the components of it. But that, if you find things that do that, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. That's truly your money working for you. Yeah, that's your money making more money. And that is ultimately what we should do so that we can focus on things that are more important than just
that's right.
that. Because if you have that, you have more time.
That's right.
You know,
Exactly.
you literally have more time. And also you have more ability. Because if you've got it, then you can just like, what are you doing today, James? It's like, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go fly to Guam. Why? Because I
Because
can
I can.
now. Yeah. I'm just and somebody just walks up to you, it's like, hey, can I have 100? Yeah, let's just make it 1,000. Here you go. Here you go. Oh, can I have more? No, you're done. That's you asked for 100, I gave you 1,000. Don't ask for anything anymore.
Now come to
Yeah,
church with me.
can you imagine how freeing that would be though for people if they had that type of ability?
Man, look, some people would be able to handle it, manage it. Some people wouldn't. But yes, for
Right. Goes
those
back
that
to the
can,
original nature of sin,
yeah,
human nature. Yeah.
for those that can, for those that have ideas of how they want to contribute, help, they're responsible. If they could just be able to free that time up, I mean, it would make a world of difference, man. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
it would.
that's the great indicator, the great divide, man. It's like
Yeah.
how can you be able to use your time in the way that you want to use your time?
Hmm.
It's funny, man, but you were talking earlier, you said how I got I forget what the term you used, but you were talking about the refresh, refocus, rebuild, planning framework, how I have coined all these different things.
Lexicon.
Lexicon, thank you. I got another one for you. There are three aspects of success. Um, Matter of fact, let
Is it
me.
an acrostic?
It is well, it's even better.
Oh,
But hold on. Let me see something.
is it a crostini?
Hold
Huh?
on,
I
hold
love
on. I would
croissants.
say,
I love
uh,
I am not a fan of bread, but if it's flaky, if it's got like a little flakiness to it, a little bit of crumble, I love bread when it's like that. When it's like soft. I don't like bread when it's tough. I don't like it when it's like I got really gnaw on it. But if it's nice and flaky, like a pastry cream puff, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's a
uh,
mm, acrostic,
oh man,
crostini, croissant.
I can't. Anyway, I,
Now you know how I felt when I was like, I don't know what the book's called. I think it's How I Win the Lottery. I Will Win the Lottery. I don't know what it's called.
yeah, you're
I
right.
made one sale. It was to my wife who bought it in support of me.
Oh, oh,
It's like don't
oh
buy it with
man,
our money. That's not how sales work.
that's not how it
Somebody
works.
somebody else has to buy it. If you buy it, you're just taking your money and putting your money and giving your money to me. That's not how sales work. Think
Oh
about it.
man,
Think about it.
I appreciate the thought, but
I do appreciate the thought, but it's like that's the only book sale I have. It's my wife.
the only books that I have
It
took
works
money.
though. It
Look,
works though. I just want to let you know it does work. I will say this, it does work. So,
the
yeah.
only book sale I had took money out of my pocket. What
Right.
works? What works?
The when you sell a book on Kindle,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That
it
so
does
so
deposit
so
the funds into the account. Yeah.
so that did help. That was good.
Hey, that's the thing. Look, we talk jokingly about these things, but seriously, once you create systems for sales, and if those systems don't work, then you just wasted your time, you know?
Right, right.
I mean, if you're in the business the people that process the payments to make sure that that money goes into your account, man, they're making a mint off of you because if they, again, if you don't get paid for your services, you just wasted your time doing it.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah,
about
man.
it. You can have $100,000 in accounts receivable, and you try to get on a loan on that accounts receivable. Well, here's the thing. If you don't have the bookkeeping in place to collect on those accounts that are supposed to pay you, you are in bad shape because you're just basically doing your work for free.
Wow.
So, the one thing that I would recommend for anybody that's a small business owner, yes, be really good at your job, but you need a really, really good big bookkeeper or process of collecting your accounts receivable in a at least a 30-day cycle, depending upon the nature of business. And so, because if you don't have the ability to collect on it, there's going to be a gap in your what's called your working capital cycle. And that's what working capital lines of credit do. They fill that gap. So that's important to be able to collect on something
Right.
that you bill somebody. Because,
Right.
again, if you're paying for a service that you get paid on instantly, again, that's FYCF. That's, you don't have to worry about it. But in other scenarios, like let's say, for example, fire alarm servicing, you've got to bill somebody for your services rendered. They gotta pay you. They'll forget to pay you unless you remind them to pay you. You got to have somebody that's on top of that. You got to have the systems in place. That's why, again, having a site that collects the payment and you get the payment and it goes into your account, that's very important, you know.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But that's why I like something simple like savings account that earns interest. And that interest gets put into your checking account. The system is already automated, so it just goes straight into your checking account. You don't have to think about it. You just got to check to make sure it happens. And again, it doesn't matter when it's 2 cents, 50 cents, whatever. But when you live off of it, that's when you're looking at your checking account. Again, cash flow. It is the lifeblood of its existence for people that need to eat, transportation, shelter, clothing, you know. So,
Hey,
no, I mean,
I, I,
so you were talking about success?
yeah, I found it. I found what
Yeah,
I was telling you because we were talking about how time is an indicator of really, and it's an indicator of success in terms of, you know, your level of success in the way that you want. If you can use your time the way you want to use it, then that's success. So,
that is success.
we say in the refresh framework, we say that there are three aspects of success. The first aspect, I could share my screen, but we don't ever share screen on the podcast, so I won't share. So the
No,
first
because of that,
aspect,
it would be very distracting.
the
And
first
also,
aspect.
too, I'm just making sure people are listening.
Oh yeah, yeah. The first aspect of success is the potential for success. So this is how well you account for your time,
Or
and
I
it
could always
deals
just say, hey,
with.
Derek, pull that up.
You say what?
Or I could always just say, hey, Derek, pull that up.
That
And then,
that's true. And I won't go into too much detail, but that's that first aspect, how well
right.
you account for your time. A lot of people are stuck there because they have terrible time management habits, right? So they've not even gotten past aspect number one. Aspect number two is the rate of success.
Hmm.
So it says how well you use your time to make progress on your goals. So once you have assessed your time and you have a foundation, then actually you can start regulating your rate of success. So this is pursuing goals, prioritizing things,
Hmm.
assessing, modifying. And then finally, as you got those two things going, because it's an iterative process, you're always assessing your time, you're always regulating your progress. You got aspect number three, the reality of success. This is how
Hmm.
much time you're able to use in the way you desire. So how much, and here's some of the facets: spending time with the people you love, doing the things you want to do, maximizing your full potential, making an impact. So that's ultimately where we all want to be,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lord willing, that aspect number three. But a lot of folks are at one, some folks are between one and two, um, and and
Is there a way to make a like a numerical indicator of where the people are within that? It's
yeah,
something
you can do something like that.
something that I was thinking about when you talk about time management, I'm thinking of why not kind of blending time management into something that's, for lack of a better word, accounting, time accounting.
Hmm.
Like it's actually like numericalized numbers, not like in some way what you're doing it by doing time management, you're really doing time accounting.
Right.
And nobody's really, well, probably there were people who probably called it this, but what if it was a way of, you know, Blake blocking it out into chunks, but adding it, because like if I said told you I've got wealth is measured in time.
Hmm.
That's an expression I've heard before. Uh, how much time you have and the ability to do things with that time. But what if I told you I had $5 in my account, okay, whatever. If I told you I had $5,000 in my account, like, oh, that's pretty good. If I told you I had $5 million in my account, people would be like, oh, well, what if with time accounting or time management, you know, I've helped you. What caught my attention when you were giving me the pitch, for again, for lack of a better word, was I can help you have, I've proven to help you have, if you do it this way, free up 20 more hours in your day, or however you
Yeah.
said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But making the time side of it like a valuable thing. I've given you another hour of your day, another 10 hours of your day, another 100
Hmm.
hours of your day. These things, and create, like,
I
because
see.
time is valuable. We all know time is valuable. It's because that is the most, that really is we talk about finite resources all the time: food, water, money, clothing, food, shelter, all these things. But the one thing that we can't get back, I have yet to see this one proven. One person's only beaten it that we know of:
Right.
time. We all have expiration dates. Everything has an expiration date: animals, plants, the world, our lives, everything. So if you can somehow, because we know time is valuable, create a monetary type way of, like, say, hey, I can give you 20 more hours of your day back, or 5 more hours of your day back. Not really give it back, but really open it up.
Show it to people. Make
Open
it
it up.
intuitive.
Yes,
Right.
open it up for you. And then, it's like, because the issue is now, like you were pointing out with COVID, when people were in during the pandemic, they were locked down at home. They're not used to, home is where you rest. That's not where you do work. But
Right.
now you're at home. So how do you balance the working from home, the time management side of it? The now I have this innate reserve of time management or savings of time I didn't really know I had. Well, I'm confused. I don't understand what this doesn't max, because home is not where I work, but now it is. So I got this surplus of what time or opportunity. So now with this excess time, I don't know how to use this time because I'm human, I'm flawed. I'm going to use it to waste. I'm going to use it to
Hmm.
build,
So,
you
so
know?
now it feels like I feel like I have less time while I have more time because I'm restless. I'm out of balance. And I
Yes.
feel like, yeah, so you're right. So because you got folks that really don't have a whole lot of time, feel like they have a whole lot of time because they're so busy. Then you got folks that feel like they have more time on their hands, but they're out of balance.
Yes.
Um, so they still
Yes.
feel restless, stress, same issues. So
Yes.
um that
Because
is
again, you're not in a fight or flight scenario. Like, early humans used to be is we used to hunt and forage for our food, and we used to fight or flight. Now we
Yeah.
got all this, this, this time. What can we do with this time? Let's pull the money side out of it. If I only got $5 in my account, I can only do this. But now I've got all this time. I've got this very finite thing. It's very finite. It's gonna go away because our lifespans are short. We don't, thank God we don't have counters on over our heads, knowing how much time we actually have left on this earth, because that would just, because again, humanity, you're gonna have the people that are gonna try to fight to add more time. They're gonna realize, hey, I can't add more time to my life. So they're gonna either despair and they're just gonna go nihilistic and just wipe everything out, or they're going to fight to try to get more time because they don't know what's on the other side. If you knew what was on the other side, 100% certainty, you really wouldn't. Again, that's hope. That there's something else on the other side. So that, this is very much outside of what most people would like to think about, but it's important to understand like what you're doing with Refresh Academy. If the core is the time management side of it, like that you just this, I'm gonna find one thing that I build everything around, this
Mhm.
foundation. And if you take it as time, then and again, that caught my attention more than anything else was like, hey, I've got a proven way to make you have more time available for you. And then you decide what is best for you, what it can be. And if you're at a place where I got all this time, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know, what am I supposed to do with it? Well, when was the last time you took a nap?
Exactly. Then there's the product. Yeah, exactly. Show them the other side.
Yeah,
Now let me show you how to use the time that we
yeah.
made.
Let me
Yeah,
give you
that you
these
got back.
options.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be in depth. It can be a 5 tool system, 4 tool system, 3 tool system, and just boom, 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 boom. Again, you can just layer everything around just one core principle, just like your very monotheistic way of looking at one core creator, intelligent design, one core God to create everything. You know, you just you just take one core thing and just build everything on top of it. And you can layer it out as much as you want to layer it out. But staying in the process is more of a reflection of, are you being consistent with your time accounting? And you just, kind of, that's really at the heart of it, of, uh, you know, best way for people to kind of really look at their stuff is the MC life, right? That's where they can find everything they kind of look for. Is that
Well, yeah, but I'm just right now, they could, yeah, because ideally the MC Life houses all the different ideas. Like they'd be able to go to the MC Life, click through to see what they're interested in. And MC Life encompasses stuff for young adults, professionals,
hmm
that kind of thing. But yeah, refreshrefocusrebuild.com. That's where all this information is. So
Okay.
it's its own entity now because like I said, I'm launching it and I really like you've been saying Academy because I was saying Refresh Coaching, but I think I'm gonna call it the Refresh Academy and
Oh, my bad.
I'm gonna no, that's good. And I'm gonna reserve Refresh Coaching for when we work our way up to working with corporations.
Right.
I'm gonna reserve that for then. So I like Refresh Academy. I really do. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're
Thank you.
welcome. Let me do you one more favor. I'm just going to check something real quick for you.
All right.
Just check one thing. Huh. Well, if you want, you could always buy refresh.com.
What? Refresh.com is available?
I think it is. Hold on, let me just.
No way.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Type
Bro,
it in yourself.
bro, that's That's
Well,
impossible.
let me put this caveat on there. It's available for purchase.
I know, yeah. But hold on, bro. Let me see this. Hold on. I'm going to my where I purchase domains. Give me 1 second. Let me see. That's crazy. That's crazy because I hold on.
I'm not lying to you.
Let me look at this, man. I'm searching. Hold on.
Please do. James, I just need an investment of $3,000. I'll pay you back, I swear. I need to purchase the domain.
Okay, that's more like it. Yeah, it's probably like $3,000. Yeah. Yeah, it probably is.
I
Cause
don't know.
it's saying it's unavailable on my end.
It's saying just type in refresh.com, see if it comes up, see if anything comes up.
No, so yeah. Nobody's using it, but
It's a bit,
probably somebody
so,
bought it to resell it.
oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's not
Somebody's parked on that domain to sell it. Yeah.
exactly. But I will see if Refresh Academy.
Man, I'm telling you, I would for me, if it was me and I had the FYCF, I'd be like, okay, I want this domain. How much? I'm gonna put in this offer. It's like, okay, what's your number? Just tell me what your number is.
Well,
It's this
honest,
much. It's like
yeah,
sold. You got it.
once we get going, oh for sure, man. For sure. Uh I'm definitely cause refresh
I'm
coaching
filling out an offer form right now.
just to see what they come back with.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm curious. I'm very curious about this. Now they've piqued my interest. You know what my offer is going to be?
What?
$100.
They might take it. If they
You never
take that,
know.
bro,
If they take that, then you
you
can buy it
you
from me
you
for a
you
hundred plus.
yeah, and you're gonna win a lottery for sure.
Oh man, that
They
wouldn't that
take
be the
that.
sign right there? It's like
That's man, refresh.com. It's crazy, man. I'm glad you're doing the bid now because folks watching this, somebody's gonna see it and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to get that." So I'm glad we're going ahead and putting in a bid. See, can we get it?
well, here's the thing, our viewership is so small.
Yeah.
I would be so surprised if somebody actually was crazy enough to actually put in an offer and then actually win the bid. That would be so wild.
Wow.
And you realize too, like back in the days when I was drinking, like this idea would have been done like 12 years ago. I would have already done this in a drunken stupor. Would have already been doing this. Yeah. So, man, what an idea though. It's like, wait a minute. We keep saying refresh this, refresh that. What about what is attached to
All
refresh.com
it
right now? And then look
right.
it up. It's like, wait a minute. No, but it's not an existing site right now already. Man, oh man. Mm. It's like, hey, we appreciate your offer of $100. Denied. It's like, all right, well, appreciate that. You know,
Thanks for letting me
what's the
know.
number?
I
I
was
just want to know.
yeah.
And if I win the lottery, it's like, how much do you really like that refresh.com, Derek? It's like, I could build the whole business around it. I've got everything on it. Da, 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 da. It's like, okay. All right.
Let's do it.
Here you go. Here's here's the domain. Here you go. How much do I owe you? What do I owe you? It's like you better work your ass off. I don't want no money. You don't need to pay me back. You've been on about this for years now. Oh, by the way, speaking of lottery, the Mega Millions did hit last night,
Oh wow.
so yeah, it was only up to like 112 million, so
Oh yeah, just 112
just
million.
112 million.
They
Yeah,
do billions sometimes, so hey.
yeah. They've gotten up to a billion. Yeah, they have. I tell you, that's when it first hit up to a billion. I remember driving all the way up to the Georgia line to pick up some tickets. But I not only did that, but I also did it for my coworkers too. And you should have seen the joy people had just imagining if they won. And that's why I did it. And that's why I kind of do it for people still to this day. It's just to help people hope and dream and how excited they get with the idea of winning the lottery,
Right.
you
Wow.
know? Because that's
Yeah.
I love I love that experience. It wasn't just the winning of it. It was the just the hope people. I mean, hope people's whole demeanor changed when they had the idea of winning because this was the first time it had ever gotten that high.
So,
So
so, bro, what is that? Like, what is that? That's right in line, sounds like with what we're talking about. What is that joy and everything that they're reflecting on? Is it just the freedom from what is that? That
I don't
they're,
know.
yeah.
It's the time. It's the
Yeah, it's the
time, the
time. It's the
ability,
time, man.
the
It's the
time,
time.
the ability, you know, the ability as much as the time. Because
Yeah.
again, you're not tied down to work anymore, but also you have the ability to do the things that you've always kind of wanted to do. You wanted to go just sit on a beach somewhere, or you wanted to go backpacking through Europe, or you just wanted to just do more of something that you've always wanted to do, but just didn't have the means.
Mm,
So that's, you know, at the end of the day, because we're at a higher level where we don't have to worry about survival, humanity is striving for something more constantly. And will we ever hit that place where we've got it and be completely content? Well, if you're chasing earthly things, not necessarily, you know?
right.
I mean, billionaires have pleasures that we can never truly comprehend, you know? It's the whole power thing, you know? There's never a true level of contentment because humanity was designed with this whole. Well, not
Right.
intentionally. I don't think we were. Again,
Right.
if you look at the stories, you take the biblical story the most, and it seems the most reasonable to me. We lost something that we originally had, were intended to have, and so we've been trying to fill it ever since. And so that's why I think to have a savior to restore everything back to its original balance, that makes sense to me. You know, if you look at the equation of life, it makes sense that somebody would be wanting. Oh, by the way, Passion of the Christ, the sequel, will begin production next year.
Oh, wow. Oh, is that what I saw Mel Gibson talking about?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yes,
Wow, that's
yes.
great.
And it's supposedly it is. I've read articles, but it is going to kind of cover the 3 day period until when he was going to be resurrected, but to go into like the spiritual aspect of it. So there may be an examination of the enemy, of the afterlife, all these things, man. So,
That's
you know,
gonna be deep, man.
it's deep. It's deep. It's just like the guy Taylor Welch who does this podcast called The Deep End, where he talks about very spiritual things. You know, I think humanity is on the cusp of a just as the Age of Enlightenment happened many years ago, the Reformation, all these great you've read history, you've seen history, world
Hmm.
history, right? All
Hmm.
these great titles they came up with these movements. Doesn't it feel like humanity is about due for another great something or other? You know, spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it, something.
Something.
The birth pains
Something.
of something that's so much bigger than us.
Yeah, a great enlightenment, like for real.
like truly something beyond what we perceived with just our eyes
Hmm. Hmm.
and our five senses. There's got to be. I mean, I just there's just too. It's just getting too crazy. It's
I
getting
think
too
the next
weird.
one sounds like the next one is gonna be the Rapture, man. Honestly,
Should be. I mean, it's too wild. It's too crazy now.
because after the Rapture, it still gives people that are left behind opportunity. You know,
To make a
I
decision.
think, yeah, exactly. So that would be a great enlightenment for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Some people, yeah. Um,
yeah. There's so many stories and theories of what this life is, and aliens, and demons, and angels, and all that. There's so much stuff that it could be. You know, but just that we're in an age where we can actually see it and witness it and comprehend it, and AI and so much weird stuff. So cool. So cool stuff. That's why 2025 is going to be a very challenging year.
let's, let's get the get ready, man. Get ready.
Yep.
We're good. We're gonna just keep doing what we gotta do.
Yep.
Keep doing what we gotta do,
Very
man.
simple things I pray. Save me, help me, protect me.
That's it, man. That's it, bro. Yeah. Hey, man. Well, bro, we did a extra long session today. You definitely probably gonna cut this into two. I don't know. The last 30 minutes, though, I think I don't we weren't doing the whole. I think you were doing more talking. You had me thinking over here, man. You gave me all those nuggets about the time and everything, and I was just tweaking, just thinking about a couple
You're
of things,
processing and thinking like, huh,
processing.
well maybe I'm gonna do it like this, or
Well, and
there's something very powerful about the word refresh.
mm,
Something very powerful about that word. And so if you look at refresh, what are we trying to refresh? Well, we're trying to refresh ourselves, obviously.
yeah.
Well, we're trying to refresh energy levels, obviously.
What
But how? What are
you
we
know?
refreshing?
Well, that's already written in. Oh, it's not on here, but it's the way that I have it is refresh the vision, refocus your goals, rebuild a plan. And that's our process. That's the iterative process that you do every month. Every month we start with writing the vision, then we refocus the goals. That's part of that planning framework, and we rebuild a plan. That's part of it. That's that process that you do at the beginning of the month. That for every hour you spend, you're gonna find 20 hours, up to probably 3 hours. So we're talking about 60 hours. So it depends on the time you put in it. That's that process. Refresh the vision, refocus your goals, rebuild the plan.
Mm. And the key word is the refresh because,
Yeah,
renew, uh, restore. It's fresh. You know what fresh is. I'm thinking of lettuce, just throw a little bit of water on it and the smell, the texture, but you're bringing life back into it, hanging it back
yeah.
to its original. And that's what it's about.
That's
It's
right.
helping people get back to their core.
Right. That's right.
Refreshing for humanity,
Refreshing.
for the people.
That's right, man. For the people. Refresh for the people. FYCF for the people.
FYCF. That's good. That's definitely a pound.
That's a pound, man. That's a pound.
Oh, that's a pound. Oh God. Can you imagine if 1,000 years from now? You got people running around saying FYCF, FYCF, FYCF. What's it mean?
I
It's like I
I
don't know
actually
what it means. People build
my
a whole religion around IFYCF. What institution you
my
going to? FYCF. Oh, really? Man, I've always wanted to get into FYCF.
I have no idea. No idea.
It's
It's got something to do with money.
got something to
All they
do with
know.
money.
Something to do with money.
You always hear him saying get the cash flow, and then he doesn't know. He doesn't say what the FY portion of it is. He just doesn't say it. I've heard rumors that there's a Patreon that's unfiltered and it's only like $10 a month, and he actually goes into what the FY is.
That's a good plug, man.
There's rumors of this thing. It's like I know I've looked through every single freaking episode. I don't see that there is no FYC episode.
That's funny.
Ah, God bless America. Capitalism.
Bro.
All
Well,
right, man.
all right.
I think
That's it.
I've hurt your brain as much as I can possibly hurt it today.
No, man. Yes, you've
Yes. No, man.
enhanced
Yes.
and enhanced my brain, my thought process on some things. So here's the beauty of it. It's all in place, man. What you said, like it's all in place. It just made me wanna make sure I'm framing it the right way, but the
Yeah.
components are all there. So
Yeah.
I'm actually just thinking about like with the website and stuff, just
Yeah.
making sure it's framed to capture that,
And
that
hey,
time.
by the way, if my $100 offer is accepted, I will let you know.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Seriously
Refresh.com is,
though, if they accept the offer, will you purchase it from me?
of course I will.
Yeah,
Come on now.
that'd be so funny. I would love it.
Refresh.com is much easier for people to follow than Refresh Folks Rebuild.
My God.
Even though Refresh Folks Rebuild is catchy, like in terms of typing in the email or typing in the website, refresh.com is a winner.
Yes, it is. That's gonna be so funny, man. Hey, we're sitting here jokingly talking about hitting the lottery, and then 20 years from now, you were jokingly talking about hitting the lottery, but this refresh.com, man, that was the lottery.
That
That was
did
the
it.
digital
That was the
lottery.
lottery.
That was the
That was
digital
it.
that was the digital real estate that I needed, and I built billions off of you. Do you realize that? Yeah, I know. Can I get $1?
No, it'll be yeah, I know, because I've g- I got a piece of it.
That'd be so funny. Build $1 billion brand or
Just off
trillion
this
dollar brand,
conversation, right?
refresh.com.
Refresh.com. That's crazy.
Oh
That's
man,
crazy,
anything
man.
is possible in this life.
True. True that. True that. That's for sure. Now I'm really looking forward to when they come back with you on, because to be honest, bro, if they want anything less than five, I'm good for it. And I'll give it to you up front. I won't,
Golly.
bro,
Golly.
it's
Ooh.
refresh.com, man.
That's a cop. I just checked my inbox just so you know. I was checking it to see if I got any
Okay.
responses back yet.
Yeah,
No,
it's
seriously,
refresh.com.
they need to just. I hope they come back with a number. Just give me a number that I can work with.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
don't say, hey, thank you for your inquiry. We're not interested. No, just tell me the number.
Tell
Tell
me
me
a number.
tell me the price.
Yeah, like, and if they do say that, usually I guess they would ask for something, because it's something astronomical. But yeah, if they do say that, let's definitely ask them counter or whatever. But let's just see. Who knows? Let's see first. Who knows?
Well,
Could just be favor.
it could be. It could be. And I actually had it directed to, I'm texting you the email address I've got. The This is yet another one of my harebrained schemes. Um, I'm also going to text you the site too because I went out and yeah, I'm gonna send that to you. I'm gonna text the other one to you. So just a dream. That's all it is. Just a dream. Maybe one day.
Right.
So I texted that over to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you.
But that's the email address. It's gonna the response is gonna go to. So
Okay.
so it's allocated specifically just for serious stuff.
Okay, colon M capital. Okay, what? Hold on. Let's see. What is the Oh, okay. They didn't. I got you. They didn't give you the specific email, but it'll be at columncapital.com.
No, that's my email address.
That's your email address?
Yeah, I created a domain,
Oh, wow. What does colon mean?
heaven.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, this is Colium.
Hmm.
Wait, hold on. 1 second. Colium. Mm,
It's a Latin word.
okay.
Yeah.
It might mean heaven, but it's giving me the biology version.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a root Latin word.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All of us full of surprises today, right? You had
Yeah.
no idea that you'd be walking into this today.
Not at all, brother. Not at all, but it's been good, man. It's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, because I know right now you're in this you're there. There is,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, the
I'm locked
provision.
in, man.
Yeah.
Yes. You know it. Locked in. So, but man, I've enjoyed it, bro. I have enjoyed it. I got we got church cleanup. I got church cleanup duty at nine this
I got
morning.
you.
So I'm gonna get ready to go do that. Then we got a birthday party. Ava's got a party to go to, so that'll be a little bit later this afternoon. But
Well,
that's what
just let
today's
me know
been.
what your thoughts on it when I text it over to you. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, the one you just
Yep.
text. All right.
When I did no, well, never
Oh,
mind. Yeah, you know what I.
earlier.
Yeah, no, yeah, no.
I got you. I got
My
you.
brain's fried. This is. I don't think we've ever done a conversation this long. Because
No.
usually it was right about an hour ago. Ava would
Oh yeah.
be
Oh,
there.
exactly. They stayed up last night though. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So cool deal, bro. Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Have a great rest of your Saturday, and we will talk soon.
Sounds good.
Peace.